Hello world, welcome back to my channel. My name's Paul. Just going to go and pick Janet up for work. This weekend we're going to head down, see Harvey, Yarloop and Waroona. Talk a bit about the fires, probably the worst fires we've had in Western Australia, show you the dam and a few other things. But for now, let's roll the intro. Good morning. It's about 6 o'clock. I'd still be asleep, but Janet forgot to put her turn her work alarm off, so may as well go and do a bit of drone shots before the wind picks up. But what a beautiful day. As you can see, I'm just in a t-shirt. Now I'm at Waroona Dam. This is the tail end of the dam. Along this part of the world there's Waroona Dam, Brook Dam, Harvey Dam, as you get further down south, Wellington Dam, and they're all for irrigation. It's dairy country here, dairy farms, so this is all for irrigation water. And so because it's not for human consumption, you're allowed to camp here. People water ski. It's a really popular place for water skiing. Absolutely amazing. People come here catching marrons, which are the West Australian freshwater crayfish. They're black, absolutely delicious. And if you remember in the We're Hunting Whales video, I took you to a yabby farm, explained the difference between yabbies, which are introduced, and kunaks, which are natural. A lot of yabbies and kunaks in the dam here. Beautiful part of the world. I'm going to put up the drone and show you from the air. Let's hope I don't hit a tree. I don't know if you can hear all the birds. What a beautiful place. Seen so many kangaroos this morning, but if you watch the Bit of Luxury in Bunbury video, the last place we went, the GoPro flew off the back of the front of the car. So all this time I've been trying to get you some clips of kangaroos on the road, and I've seen about 10 this morning. Anyway, I've been at my work for 5 years pretty soon, and they give me a $500 voucher, which I'll be spending on a brand new GoPro 9. But for now, we're GoPro-less. Now, the lake that's formed by the Waroona Dam is called Lake Navarino. This is the Lake Navarino holiday park. It's got cabins, caravan sites, tent sites, little shop here, fuel. Beautiful place to come for a little holiday. Bring the family, bring your ski boat, your marron nets in marron season. I have to say that they're very strict on the marron fishing here, and you do it out of season, or if you get caught with undersize, there's a whole police division that's just for catching people with undersized marron out of season, all sorts of things. But guys, the birds are singing. I hope you can hear all these birds. Absolutely beautiful. So now we're on the dam. Absolutely amazing. Janet likes to sleep in the mornings, but really she is missing out. All these things, remember in Esperance, all the places I've been in the morning, she's been asleep. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to go and park the car, put the drone up, but wow. And the road video micro is pretty good, but I hope today she's picking up all those bird calls. There's just birds everywhere singing. So you look for this sign here, that's the turn off up to the dam. We turn around here, this is the Waroona Hotel, so it's easy to find. But also up this road, the way to Waroona Dam, that's the Nanga Brook Road. And it's a very, very popular motorcycle ride. Guys will ride down here along the main highway, the way we came last night, head up here. I've done it many times, it's an amazing ride. This will take you up the back way into Dwellingup. And then you can come down from Dwellingup into North Dardanup. Amazing ride, maybe 3-4 hours. A couple hours if you do it right. No, I wouldn't say that. Okay, so now we're at Brook Weir. Now this is maybe 5 k's out of Waroona. You'd probably tell by now I'm terrible on distances, but it's about 5 k's. And it's a 24-hour parking bay, so you can actually come and camp here the night for free. There's a lot of places like this all around Australia. There's actually a Facebook group that tells you all about it. I'll try and find that and put it in the link. But yeah, you can come down here, stay, but you can't come and live here. It's 24 hours. You're not allowed to plug your van into the electricity, and there's only 4 or 5, I can't remember, but there's only 4 or 5 vans allowed here at once, so it doesn't end up packed. But this really is, I say this word a lot, but I'm very lucky to live in such a beautiful part of the world that we can come down here, and you can do Waroona as a day trip. It doesn't have to be a weekender. We just like to take it nice and easy. Isn't it absolutely beautiful? I'm going to put the drone up and show you properly. Guys, now we're in this beautiful house in Yarloop. This is our friend Kate that we've known for probably 10 years, haven't we, Kate?
Yeah. I went on that crazy journey.
Yeah. When I used to drive the old HR, the 67 Holden, Kate used to drive with us. And that's part of the reason, well, we came to visit her to say hello, but part of the reason we're on camera is Kate was really affected by the fires. We had the fires through here in what year was it?
2016.
2016. Now, probably the worst fires West Australia's ever had, and there was all the people around here lost most of their stuff. Kate had a car collection in the sheds here that were gone. All the sheds are new, thank you to insurance. All the stuff. I've taken a bit of footage around the place. You'll be able to see the burnt down trees and everything, but I just wanted to ask Kate, how has it affected the area, do you think, yourself and other people around the area?
Yes, it's changed the demographics of the community,
yeah,
because so many people have left that lost everything, yeah, that were in, especially people in sort of my age group, the older demographic, they had to live somewhere. I was fortunate, I had my daughter out 15 k's out, yeah, on another property, and it missed her place by about 1 kilometre, so we were lucky. And the wonderful people from ADRA, which is emergency accommodation for people, yeah, through Seventh-day Adventists, I think, donated me that caravan that's over there.
Still there, yeah.
And, well, there wasn't a shed. I was living in the paddock whilst the clean-up around here was done.
But yeah, if you remember, guys, when I did the live feed with Hoops, he was talking about this, all his family's from this area, my friend, and they were all stuck on the football ground in town with the fire just raging all around them.
I would have been terrified,
yeah,
because it was terrifying watching it from my daughter's farm.
Yeah.
That's 15 kilometres as the crow flies that way.
And how is it now? Is town getting back to how it was, or are people starting to forget? That's a better way of putting it.
No, I don't think people. Well, some people are all different, so it's a grieving process. Yeah. And some people don't want to talk about it. Some people don't want to see the dead trees. Yeah. They want every dead tree in town taken away because it reminds them.
And do you agree with me that it was probably the worst fires we've had in Western Australia?
I would say so,
yeah,
in the fact that it burned so many hectares, acres, and that it got all the way out to the sea.
And Rachel, I told you in the Margaret River video how my sister died up the road here. Well, we lost her cross. There was that steel cross on Rivendell Road. That was my sister, and that's gone now. It's so I was affected even, and Yarloop isn't my home. So yeah, and that's probably enough for now. Thank you, Kate. I really wanted people to understand what we went through with the fires, and I'll turn the camera off. Thank you. Okay, so now we're at the Waroona Hotel. We're going to have some lunch with Kate. I won't repeat the story, but if you check the Mad Dog and Janet Go South video, the Margaret River, we've got a bit of history here. You can hear all about it. Well, it's getting quite late, but we're just going into the Tourist Bureau. Easy to find in Waroona. Going to go and find out what to go and have a look at here. We did have a really nice lunch though, that's why it took so long. So after the fires, a lot of the burnt trees around the area, from WWII, all around the area, the fires affected a lot of people, and a lot of the trees were decorated like this one, just to try and bring a bit of joy back into the community. So now we're at Drake's Brook Antiques, and I know this isn't very mad doggish, but my mum was an avid collector of Wedgwood, and these guys are the biggest Moorcroft dealers in the world. So let's go in and have a look at some beautiful English pottery. So now we're inside the Drake Brook Antiques, and some beautiful stuff in here as you've seen, but let's ask Marla, why Moorcroft? How did you become the biggest dealer in the world, and was it one of your passions to start with?
Yes, it was. I used to work in Europe, and everywhere I went to the castles and things, Moorcroft pottery was always prominent there, and so I decided that when I came back to Australia I'd start my own shop. Yes. And I would, you know, become a Moorcroft stockist.
But how did you become the biggest?
Oh, we started in 2002, and we built our way up. We started from scratch, and then we came up to where we are now. It really is. It's a beautiful shop here, guys. We have over 500 pieces in stock. Yeah.
And of those 500, how much of it is antique and how much of it is modern stuff?
Probably 100 pieces would be antique.
Yeah?
Yeah, done by William Moorcroft in 1897.
Oh, wow.
And the rest is current, because Moorcroft is still in existence.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So this is the Waroona Historical Society Museum. Because we spent so much time on lunch, they're shut, but I can tell you this is well worth having a look. Tells the whole history of the area. Okay, so this is the centre of Yarloop. As you'll see, or I don't know how well you can see, but nearly all the houses are new. The pub's gone. It's a bit sad, but these people are quite resilient. It's a thriving little town again. If you hadn't have known what it was like before, you wouldn't know it was any different. Amazing. But imagine sitting, the football ground's just over there, and in the end they just gave up trying to fight the fires and everyone went to the football ground. Imagine sitting in a football oval just watching flames roaring all around you. It must have been a very scary thing, but I don't want to be too negative, guys, bringing up the fires a lot, but I wanted people to understand that it is a big part of this area's history. Oh, well, guys, this is where we stayed, the Waroona Inn in Harvey. It was really comfortable. I really recommend this place. Janet doesn't want me to show you in the room because I've made a mess of it as usual, but yeah, it's really, really comfortable. One of my favourites. Now this is the old train station. It's still a used train station. The Bunbury train comes past here, the Australind, and stops here, but it's also the museum. But knowing our luck, as usual, the museum's not open until 2 o'clock and we have to head back to Perth. So, but I've been in here before, it's well worth a visit. And this is the front, well, the train side, so I guess the back of the train station. Beautiful old building again, but obviously the platform's not that safe anymore because they've got the fence here. And you actually jump on the train over here. So, but yeah, I've caught the train here many, many times. Well guys, this is where I got our coffee from both mornings, the Lemongrass Cafe. Beautiful coffee, delicious, fruity. Yeah, so I thought I'd come back and give them a bit of a plug. And behind us here, the old Harvey Hotel. Beautiful old building. Drunk in here many, many, many times in my drinking days, but that was a few years ago. And I said this about Bunbury in the last trip, the bit of luxury in Bunbury, but I'm really pleasantly surprised about how Harvey's gone forward. Again, it used to be very much a farmer's town, but now the streets full of cafes, and it's 10 o'clock on Sunday morning and there's people all over the place. It really has, this whole area's changed. Get down here, go swimming in the dams, support your local tourism. Okay, so this is the Keith Lease Tourist Precinct and it's part of the Eden Grove Community Precinct. The tourist information booth is here. We're just going to go in and have a look over here and then we're going to go and have breakfast at the cafe.
Ain't no worries, ain't no worries.
And this is the little museum at the information centre. This was a nice little surprise out the back of the tourist information centre. So Australia's always been a place that people came to live a better life, safe life. You work hard here, you can be anything you want, there's nothing stopping you. But when the Second World War happened, there was a lot of people, Germans, Japanese, Italians, that all of a sudden were enemies of the state. And there was camps like this all over Australia. There was 12,000 people locked up during the war, but one day they were Australians, the next day they were enemies and they were locked up in these camps. This one, there was 123 German prisoners of war from a sunken warship. There was 200 Australian soldiers guarding the place and there was 800 and something Italians. The Italians joined the war in 1940. Before that they were an important part, and they are an important part today, of this area. Vegetable farmers, dairy farmers, all sorts. This area wouldn't be what it is today without the Italians. But then suddenly one day, enemies of the state, and they were locked up in this place. Now where I just was, outside the buildings, you can see that easily. But if you go to the Tourist Bureau where I just was, they'll give you a key, you can get inside the building. And this must have been the church for the internees, but it also explains, they've made it into a bit of a museum, so it explains all the history. They've got the board over there that Janet's reading that explains all the people that were actually interned here. Some photos here. So it's just a $5 deposit on the key. You get that back when you return the key. Well worth stopping in and having a look. Well, what a surprise. We came over to the Sterling Cottage to have some breakfast, and look at the Sterling Cottage grounds. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, what a surprise. For those of you who have been watching our videos from the beginning, you'll remember in the Margaret River, Mad Dog and Janet Go South is Margaret River All the Hype video. I like cheese. So here we are at the Harvey Cheese Factory. We'll go in and have a look, and I'm going to buy some cheese. Well, it's Sunday, so no one's working, but they do have a viewing windows here so you can watch them making cheese. All around Australia we have big things like big bananas in Coffs Harbour and the big merino in Wagen and big pineapples and big prawns. Well, this is the big orange in Harvey. And we came, it's actually an observation tower you can go up, but they've got a big function today, so this is the only day, probably this year, that you haven't been able to go up there, but that's the big orange behind us. Well, that was another fun weekend. It's the silver lining of COVID. I'd travelled this country so much, nearly all my life I've travelled this country and I was bored with it, but because we can't get away, now I'm really enjoying seeing it all through Janet's eyes and making these videos with you guys. The crazy adventure that Kate talked about in the interview, that's a car cruise that a few of us did in old classic cars. We went away for a weekend, and there's a video of that in my other channel, which I'll put a link in the description. I'll put links to everywhere we've been in the description as well. And if you haven't subscribed yet, guys, hit the Mad Dog icon up there or the subscribe button down below. Give me a big thumbs up, share this video wherever you can, and we'll see you next time.